It's Monday, and we are back from a 2-week hiatus, vacation hiatus. Back here with Meghan here on the Prepare to Repair show, powered by. You gonna help me with this, or you're gonna let me do it myself? Yeah, you can't just look good. You have to actually contribute.
That's
you
terrible.
Gonna contribute here?
That's terrible.
Okay.
Ferguson Supply, Steve.
And where are they located?
Tinley Park. Why do you do this to me every time?
Because you got to do something besides be an ornament. You actually have to. You can't just look good. You actually have to say something. You have to show the audience that, hey,
better than you today.
You do. You always look better than me.
That's not true.
I don't even run that race. I don't even try to do it. I just stop.
That's
it's kind of like
true. I have incredible video of you.
Yeah, it's not good. I can tell you that right now. It's horrible. It's on a scale from 1 to 10. O time or O numbers. So, I'm just trying to. It's been so long. It's been like I said. It's been like 2 weeks.
3, right?
So, and it's been fairly eventful for the last couple weeks. You had the holidays. You had I know you're wincing on that because the holidays didn't quite go as planned.
I had a rough go this year.
And then you had the weather that was like, it's like hello winter came to see us.
That wasn't winter. That was a tease. That little snowstorm.
No, it's called when it got cold, the polar plunge that we had, where temperatures dropped down to below zero.
Christmas Eve was really cold.
Yeah, it was brutal. It was like, well, yeah, but a lot of people won't say.
Spoiled.
Huh?
I still have a warm house,
Right, but a lot of people have wound up getting a.
Some frozen pipes. Is that where you're going with that, Steve?
Oh, well, no. But, a lot of people had a lot of issues from that.
Had they tuned in, they would have known, leave those things a-dripping.
Funny that I brought that up because,
it's going to tie right into something here.
What we talked about before when we went on break for the holiday was, when it's going to start getting cold. And when it does happen, prepare for it. Prepare for it by having, prepare to repair. Prepare for it by having your faucets run if need be. Make sure
That's the only tip I know. Are there others?
Well, if you've got an area where that it runs slow or freezes up.
On an outside wall, Steve?
Right.
Like
well,
that?
you can open up walls, or not even so much open that wall, but somehow get some sort of venting running to that spot or run heat to that location, insulate it. There's a lot of things that you can do. A lot of times it doesn't really freeze this one time. It's happened in the past, and we've got it and we've been fine. And then it's just going to
insulate in the summer or spring. Don't wait until.
Well, that's
the day before a polar vortex.
Well, what I say to people is a lot of these emergencies, they're not emergencies. They've been around for a little bit. It's they were dealt with, and then when we had that 1 or 2 cold days, and then they got through it and forgot about it, and other things took precedent, and that happens. That's what people do. But I always say, get it taken care of. And do I practice exactly what I preach? No. No.
Don't they say that usually about whatever your profession is? It's the one thing you're lacking at home.
The mechanic's car is always broke.
Yeah.
The faucet always leaks.
Basically.
Yeah. No, but I do, when things are starting to be an issue, I do jump on it because honestly what it's going to be is it's going to happen when I don't have time to do it. So if I procrastinate, it's not going to get done, and it's going to be a big problem when I can least have time to do it.
Right.
And that's how most things are with people when issues come up. It's when they least have time or least afford to be able to do it. So if you could take care of it and handle it on your end, you're going to do much better and be much more capable of handling it on your end or on your time and at your leisure than waiting till it decides when it wants to be done. And also, too, and I said before, just mentioning the these freezes, these emergencies, everyone's having them. So when with everybody having this issue, that means the demand for the people to fix it are extremely high and trying to find somebody. And then what happens when there's a high demand? You can't get anybody out there. All of a sudden, you start getting those emergency rates because it happened over a holiday. Emergency rates, holiday rates, and people start seeing the bill and get some sticker shock of how much things are running, and they get really, really mad.
How many people hung up on you? Did you answer the phone?
No, I answered the phone. Yeah. No, I did.
What did you say?
We got to what we can get to. I mean, you can't get to everybody, but we had somebody get upset that we were backed up. It's like, well, you came recommending. Yes, we did. And that doesn't help me. And they hung up. It's like, how? I mean, I can only.
How do you live with yourself?
Me?
Just kidding.
I love me. I think I'm a great guy. I'm with me 24 hours a day. We do everything together.
I bet.
We do. And then you know what? I confide in myself for everything. I know I can trust myself. Sometimes we have disagreements and we have to separate for a little bit. But you know what? In the end, we come back and get along.
You talk to yourself?
Why not? Who else will listen to me? I got people at home that are moving out just for that reason. I'm my own best friend.
You really are.
I mean, driving around, I'm in my van a lot. It's like, I sing. I like my own singing. I think I'm great. Do
you?
Yes, I think I think I can go on tour and do better.
Wow.
And then once I leave the van, it ends. I actually get back to reality.
Love to hear it.
Actually get back to reality and do my real job.
That one song in the whatever that was.
God.
If you could sing that on the way home, that would be great. Okay. I would love to hear that.
Well, you need to expand your horizons. And
who was it again?
That was Ministry.
Yeah, expand my horizons.
Yes.
Men screaming.
It wasn't men screaming. It was actually an instrumental.
Oh, we'll agree.
It was an emotional instrumental with musical instruments.
Right.
Okay?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
There wasn't any vocal range in it whatsoever.
I heard vocal range.
Well, you know what? I think you heard wrong. Anyway, but before we went on break, because I'm going to digress and me and you are going to result to slap fighting.
Happy Monday.
And I'm going to lose that fight. But anyway, but as I said, is when you run into emergencies like that and you're at the whim of people, then what's going to happen is you run the risk of having those those crazy high bills. And if you have somebody that you've used, and that's kind of what we did, our returning customers, we grab, we take care of them, any warranty work, we take care of them anytime they have an issue. But you have people that then you can feel comfortable when you call them that you're going to get the prices, you're going to get the service. You're not going to feel taken advantage of when you are at your weakest. Mm-hmm. Basically, you need somebody. You have no water. Your water's off. So having somebody on call or that of that you use regularly, that minimizes that. Why are you looking at me with that condescending look?
Just trying to stay.
You're looking at me. Yes, Steve. Yeah, it's a good thing we're all listening to you. Yes.
I get it.
You are just. Megan is mean. We're just her nickname's going to be Mean Megan.
Good. That was good.
So
Mean Megan.
Mean Megan. So she's showing her.
I get it. Everybody should have their person.
Well, I mean, it just helps if you find it out in the beginning, so you've already know what to expect. So then, when you really need them, you know what you're dealing with, and you can trust them. Because there's some people that weren't home. I mean, there was one customer that I
don't understand how people don't think of that before they leave home.
Well, it depends. If, say, we had a couple customers that they went out of town and their heat failed.
And that's unexpected.
And their heat failed during that time.
And then they had the freeze.
And the water was actually running out the door.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And this one particular house it was an older house. And it destroyed everything.
That's awful.
And you ever hear when people talk about getting termite inspections for their house and what the damage that it does? Mm-hmm. Well, this house, once the water got in everything, saturated the wood, saturated everything, froze, and then dried out. And once they demoed everything, you saw where this house had termite damage. And what it did was, if you ever look at pieces of wood and you see like the layers there, like almost like the rings in there.
Like onions, Steve?
Yeah, let's go with that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All the fibers were gone, and all those little layers that you saw were in there, and it looked like just sheets of paper. Yeah. So this wood, this 2x6 or 2x10 structure of wood, was literally just 5 or 6 pieces of paper, because everything was all just they ate it away. It was all gone. Ooh. It was just really weird to see how they destroy stuff. So, and that they told me it was from termite damage.
So that house would have.
Well, they needed work anyway. So this was one of those things where,
well, may as well do it now.
Well, it was kind of good that I mean, not you don't want that to happen.
Blessing in disguise.
Yeah, there you go, something like that. I mean, but it wound up getting it all fixed and getting it all taken care of.
Are you okay?
I'm super. So getting it all taken care of. Upset stomach.
Want an egg sandwich?
No, that is all you. That's all you. That is your
really is.
Breakfast of Champions for Monday's show, Mondays. And I am not going to
support it.
I'll support it. I'll support your need to be you.
Thank you.
I'm 100% for you being you, and just leave me alone.
About the American people, that sounded like it was from Tommy Boy.
Leave me out of that one. But I say that when just getting back to that is having this issue of the freeze is it's just people just get, like I said, blindsided by it, and if you look at a lot of the reviews companies get that do emergency service, a lot of them are from that. A lot of it is from just calling out companies and not understanding or not being aware of price changes or what pricing is for after hours or weekends or holidays, what that service runs.
I don't know. Like, I'm no brainiac, but I would assume that if I'm calling for a service on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, there's gonna be a little bit of an upcharge.
I'm gonna tell you, you would think, but I'm gonna say,
sorry, did I just pull you away from your family? Yeah, I'm just gonna charge what?
A lot of people who, let's just say this, a lot of people who feel strongly about something and they'll champion it, do not apply that when it comes to them. So meaning it's like, you know what, you can't take away somebody from their family. You got to take care of them. You got to pay them. You got to do. And then when it comes time for them to do that, then it's like, oh, well, that's your job. You were supposed to do that and so forth. I've run into that. I mean, it's as kind of, you'd probably think that that's rare, but no, you'll have people that will call you up. They'll yes you to death. You'll tell them, okay, it's going to be X amount of dollars to come out. It's going to be X amount of dollars from that point on to do whatever. And they'll yes you to death. They'll say, yeah. They know the charges. They know that. And then when you go there, everything is exactly what it is. And you give them the bill, they pay it. And then they go right to social media and they blast you and they tell you how you robbed them.
Wow.
Yeah, I see that happen a lot.
That's terrible.
And it's just, that's why I try to avoid emergency service if I can. Because it's just, I don't want anybody feeling they don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Because when we do work and we're doing jobs, if we have a customer that is even the slightest bit hesitant on the price, doing the job, whatever, I will stop, think about it, get other estimates, just take a minute, and immediately it stops for a couple days. Because I don't want anybody feeling like they're, they're obligated, they're pressured, they need to do something right then and there when they don't. So, and it's just, I don't want them feeling like that. How do you feel about that? Do you care? Are you even here today?
Very
It's
intrigued.
Monday after 2 weeks off. We're going to take a quick break here on the Prepare to Repair show. And Megan's going to collect herself instead of looking at me all condescending. And then we're going to welcome our good friend Audrey Johnson with Home Source Realty. She's going to come on with us. We haven't seen her in a little bit, and she's always fantastic. So we're going to take a quick break here on the Prepare to Repair show on WJOL 1340. Welcome back to the Prepare to Repair show.
That's not how you do it. Welcome back.
Oh, now you decide to talk?
Welcome back.
Now she decides to talk and open her mouth and get involved in the conversation.
I was just letting you talk earlier.
You weren't. I was just trying to tell you all these people that went through all this nightmare over the holiday
Oh my God.
week.
Are you going to talk about it again?
I just feel bad for these folks.
No, you don't.
And I'm trying to help them avoid that by getting some people.
You said they were
beforehand.
blindsided. I'm like, come on. You know, I mean, here's one thing that kind of irks me. Do people not watch the Weather Channel anymore? They don't know that it's going to be that cold and that maybe pipes may freeze.
Out of the holidays, this is what really grinds your gears.
I like weather. I'm attentive to the weather. Me and Tom Skilling are.
I love Tom Skilling.
Yeah. See?
Audrey, help me out here.
Well, what are you guys arguing about? I'm a day late, $1 short.
He went on and on and on.
Are we talking about the weather or the airports or the how cold it was that everybody called you when their pipes broke?
That's what we were talking about. And what I was saying is when it comes down to emergencies like this, a lot of these pipes that have frozen, a lot of them have had issues in the past with the cold that were, I got away with this and they forgot about. And a lot of people do that. I mean, I'm going to say I'm guilty of it too on certain, you know what, maybe it was just this and you don't address it and then it tells you, you have to. And I was saying about getting blindsided with the pricing and the costs of the emergency, especially being on during the holidays. And now there's a shortage of people out there anyway, plumbers, and it's not a really good.
I always told you were a rare breed.
Well, thank you.
And I was saying you can't be blindsided by that, right? I mean, like, if you're going to call a plumber on Christmas Eve, you should expect to pay a little more.
Somebody's got to pay for Santa.
But a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't believe it.
I agree with Megan. I'm like, come on, if you have anything, unless you're living, in your earth-sheltered home,
right?
You should have an idea that
the
weather's. They've been talked about it for a week. It's cold.
Yeah.
It's going to snow. I mean, I grew up in an older house in Chicago, so my mom and dad had always had the bottom cabinets open,
right,
on the sink that was against the out wall.
See this is what I'm talking about. And if you don't have time to insulate, like, okay, cool, run the water.
I am going to tell you from my experience of just in the field that a lot of people, like I said, they don't think it's going to happen, and they're so busy though.
We know what's going on.
They're so busy. They're just life happens.
Put those people on the no call list, Steve. All right,
you're not going to do that. You got to help. You got to help as many people as you can.
But gosh, listen.
But don't you think maybe a general rule of thumb, if it's under 10 degrees,
right?
If you have any outside wall, like a kitchen with the sink, with the window over the sink, or an outside wall,
right?
Let it drip and at least open your bottom cabinet so that the warmth of the house could get under there. I mean, that's what I tell people. Especially if you have an old house with outside plumbing.
Oh, I agree with you wholeheartedly. And I'm not smiling at you. I'm smiling at her
Audrey,
with her.
Audrey knows what's up.
With Megan with her little con.
Right.
She woke up choosing violence today. She's a real snarky one today.
Well, it is Monday.
Yeah, and we're back after a 2-week hiatus, so we're shaking the rust off a little bit. But and I was also saying, before the break that it's a good idea to have your people beforehand, so you don't have to worry about being blindsided. You don't have to worry about what am I going to be charged. I've got somebody. I've already used them. I have a history with them. I know what kind of work they're going to do, so they're trusted.
And I agree. And especially tradespeople, because as you say, they're in short supply for anything.
And there are some bad ones.
Mm-hmm. Somebody reputable that, I mean, I know if I call you, it's all going to be perfect.
Right.
I'm like so grateful that I have you in my life as a friend and as a plumber, because he's never let me down, or any of my clients that I send him to. Everybody loves him, the company.
Appreciate that.
But anything, I think, in life, you need a doctor, a repairman, a good beautician.
I can make chili mac.
Like right.
I could cook up a mean chili mac if you guys ever need anybody last minute. Just saying.
That's up there.
Yep. Why do you think I accepted this job? I needed a plumber, Steve. I needed a plumber.
Okay. You're listening to Megan, who's, basically she bribed her way in with food, which is good. Got nothing but love for that. That's a good way to get in there.
See?
I can make a wicked chili mac. That's it.
I was trying to think of
I'm
my
hungry now.
qualities.
I wasn't hungry until you said that.
Listen, Speedway across the street has excellent egg sandwiches. I get one every week.
And she's in the bathroom 25 minutes later.
That was my first day, and I was nerves.
Yeah, let's go with that. Anyway, so I got a question for you, Audrey. And I was thinking about this as, just thinking about different topics over the time we were off. And I was thinking, why do we do what we do? Like, as you being a realtor, and you've had other things that you've done that you've been successful at, and now you're a realtor, and me, and I was thinking about what I do. It's like, why do you do what you do? Do you do it, for the money, to serve, help, comfort, resolve? What do you do it for?
Oh, that's an interesting question.
Why did you choose that?
And I think a lot of it goes back probably to my personality, be it better or worse. But even when I was in my 20s, I did not like being in an office. I had office jobs, and I hated being in one place, sitting in a cubicle, being told by somebody what to do, because no matter what, I usually thought that I knew best. So I obviously way back when did not play well with others even then. So I was looking for something to do, and my uncle...
Hold on. Let's stop there. What? Just because you don't play well with others doesn't mean you don't work well with others.
No, that's true. I just
There's a difference between the two.
I was just waiting for an inspiration.
I would say I didn't like a boss.
I
I always thought that, I could do that better.
Right.
I feel like I can just tell from your personality, you need to be around people, not necessarily like in a cubicle kind of setting, but you need to be around people.
I do love, I do enjoy the contact, but I was not good by being put in a box and given a stack of papers and say, well, you should just do this because I said so.
Steve puts me in a box and gives me a stack of papers.
Like, don't put baby in the corner kind of thing.
Nobody
that's how
puts
I feel.
Meghan in the corner.
He gave me a space heater, though.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, so after that, I just was looking for something to do. And my Uncle Ed, God rest his soul, I said, I have this really good friend that he's, owns a real estate office, and why don't you go interview with him? And that was my start, and I loved it. I just loved it. First of all, what woman doesn't like to look at houses? And you really do. You meet so many people, and everybody has a different story. Mm-hmm. And it was always changing. And the situations are different. The houses are different. And peoples are different. And they all want to buy or sell a house for a reason. Happy, sad, just got married, getting a divorce, somebody died. So you're actually helping people. So, can you make a good living at it? You can, but it's also kind of what I call psychic income. I just closed the deal last week, and the people were so happy. I mean, this woman was just grinning ear to ear, and it just warmed my heart.
That's got to feel good.
Yeah.
So basically, you're doing it to serve and help, comfort and resolve. Could you sell a house? Just, I'm selling this. I know full well they're not going to like it, but you know what? It's going to make me a huge commission. I'm done.
That's why I'm not rich. It's funny you said that. I have a dear clients of mine.
That was the biggest burp ever. I'm sorry. I tried to keep that one out.
Megan was about to cough or burp or whatever, and she moved
I saw her lean over. I didn't know what was going to happen.
She was moving away from the microphone, so I pulled my microphone towards her to catch it.
I wasn't sure what we needed there.
Just a little carbonation.
Yes. I just went all juvenile on that one. But anyway, I mean, it's...
make a long story short, I have dear clients of mine. They've been my clients for a long time. I've moved them. And they wanted to buy this house a couple of years ago. And they looked at it. They're a younger couple in their mid-30s, let's say. And they fell in love with the house and the location. The house needed so much work.
Right.
Now, if you have the skills, if you and June wanted to buy this house, I would have said, okay, but think about it. I have two young people with two kids, busy careers, no skills, not even picture hanging we're talking about.
Right.
And I'm like, you know what? I don't think this is the house for you.
You're honest.
You're going to have to pay for everything to do here. We're talking $150,000, $200,000 to repair this in an okay manner from what I could see.
Right, before you even walk through the door, before you're doing that. So, and not to mention, and I know where you're going with that because I actually had a realtor have me meet a prospective buyer at this one location in Chicago.
That's great.
And they were green as green can be. They had no idea about anything, and this was a 3-flat. The location was good. They if they were seasoned at rehabilitation, at renovation of a property, they would have done very well. But they wanted to live in one unit that wasn't all that good and do the renovations on the other two, which the renovations were at the top, or the unit they were going to live in was at the top. The renovations would have been at the bottom 2 units, which you would have rendered everything pretty much useless, because you're working from basically the bottom up.
Way over their heads.
Yeah, I said, if these things could get so stressful, it can be so much work, and you can get way over your head really quick that it has destroyed relationships.
Correct.
So, and even, partnerships with family members have suffered when there was a difference of opinion, lack of knowledge and experience in a specific task. So, yeah, having somebody or guiding them in the right way, and that's what I mean. You could have made a lot of money off of that, and you could tell them anything they want. They buy it, and then you're in it making your little money, or making your end. But then you're leaving these people with a product that they do not like.
And I have to see them in the Jewel parking lot. I might get beat to death, when I check it out. But here's the twist to your story. They loved the house, and and they wanted to buy it. I said, I'm not going to sell you the house until you bring your parents. I want them to look at it. It's not the house for you. The parents came, and they go, are you crazy? They insisted on buying the house. I said, I will give you 2 years, and you're going to call me back. A year and a half later.
No way.
Yes.
They're like, we went out.
We're selling their house and buying another one.
Right.
For somebody with skills, it's a dream come true.
Right.
But if you don't.
And you told them that.
Right.
Yeah. And so I did tell them that. So that's why I'm not rich.
Well, that's the thing. You see, and that goes to my next thing is, you have to believe in what you're doing. And that's the reason why some of the policies we've adopted, we go in and give an estimate or a price on some work, and you are hesitant. We stop right there. It's like, okay, we're going to take a minute. We're going to, pump the brakes on this and get estimates, talk to whoever you need to talk to, do your research, and then call us back and we'll proceed. Because a lot of people feel
like they're going to get ripped off, especially if they don't understand plumbing, real estate, whatever it is.
They feel pressured. So if you take a minute and you give them that space to check everything out, then that gives them the power back. Because a lot of times when you're buying something, they can be really nice. The person that's trying to sell it to you is real nice and everything, and you feel you don't want to hurt their feelings, or you feel like they could be a little bit too overwhelming. You need that minute.
You have to be able to learn to say no too. If you think it's not right for you, nobody should ever force you into anything. And
exactly.
I totally agree with that. But
exactly. And
they've got to be happy. And your business, my business, it's referral business.
Exactly. And you have to
absolutely. You have to. And, it's to me, you just treat other people like you want to be treated yourself.
And that's what I mean. You have to believe in what you're doing, because if you're not buying in what you're doing, then why do it? And I mean, if you're going in like somebody wants, I've had customers who asked us, hey, we need you to do this, this, and this. And I'm like, okay, no. And they're looking at me like, why? Because you're not going to be happy with that. It is not going to give you what you think it's going to do, or what you think you're going to get out of it. And here's why. And I think it's up to you as a professional to be able to do that and guide that. And that's what they're expecting from you, whether they know it or not, because sometimes the biggest thing you can give as a professional is not give them what they want, but advise them on what they need so they know where to look, because they're just seeing limited things. They're not seeing the whole picture from a contractor's point.
That's a good point.
So, and I think it goes back to what you were saying about, the house that you had. That was a house that they thought they wanted, but it wasn't a house what they needed right then.
That's correct.
Maybe further down the line, it would have been something as they became a little bit more seasoned, and they got a little bit more, just a little bit more experience behind them.
You don't know what you don't know when you start rehabbing old houses until you're in the middle of it.
Exactly. And my key thing that I always say is, with anything, it's with life, anything that you're going to do, it's not about learning what you can do. You could read all this stuff all day long, but none of the things you're going to read, I don't care if it's YouTube, I don't care if it's in a book, I don't care if whatever little class you take, there is that key thing. What do you do when? What do you do when it goes sideways? What do you do when certain things happen? There is no little manual that says, okay, you do this, because you're not going to have the same type of issues go wrong. So you need to know what to do when. And that is the hardest part about finding good service plumbers is, what do you do when? And a lot of them don't know what to do when. They know what to do certain things, but when things have gone off the rails or they're coming into something that somebody didn't know what to do when, they're like, okay, what do I do? And a lot of it is as simple as backing up and taking a step back and letting the house speak to you, let the house talk to you. And same thing, when you're, I think it probably in your business as well, is when you're doing it, it's like, okay, you got a customer. It's like, okay, I want this. All right, what do you do when they want this? And you know full well that this is not something you're going to do, because what happens is, or you should do, because if you sell them this house, and it winds up doing exactly what you say it's going to do, and they're that miserable, you know what they say? That realtor shouldn't have sold you this house. That realtor did this. That realtor did that. Same thing with a plumber. Oh, that plumber shouldn't have done this, shouldn't have done that.
Right.
We can't get away as professionals saying that, well, this is what they wanted us to do. Because at the end, once that check is paid, that check is deposited, it's our name is on everything that we've been involved with. So we have to believe it. We have to own it. We have to believe in it, because our name is on it, and we're judged by.
And that's your reputation.
Yes, we're judged on that.
And it also is right for people. I mean, I had another young couple come to mind. They came to me. They were both, well, professionals doing well. We want at least 2 acres, and we want a 2-story colonial. I'm like, okay, they could qualify it financially and everything. Well, I tell you, we looked and looked and looked, and what we ended up with after 4 months was a 2-bedroom penthouse condo with an underground garage.
What?
Yes. Because after looking at, they were coming from a small apartment downtown Chicago, and did not realize what 2 acres and a big colonial house.
What it entailed.
Entailed in upkeep.
Yes.
And
oh my gosh.
I said, just come look at this. I said, if you come look at this, I'll take you both out to lunch. They're like, well, I said, just look at it. So we went to look at it. We park in the nice, warm underground garage, go up on the elevator, the penthouse with the big deck. They go, oh, we love it. We're going to take it.
I think I can be persuaded by anything, basically.
Well, I think
I want to move there. Can you take
me
there?
Card
I'll move
every year.
But I think, sometimes you don't always see what you know, and you don't really know until you're able to really put yourself in the position and actually grasp that.
I agree. And I always tell people, you have to look at a lot of houses to understand what you want.
Yes.
And what you think you want on the first day out. All of a sudden, a week later, like, you know what?
Right.
I don't want that, but I want this instead.
Exactly. You're listening to the Prepare to Repair show here on 1340 WJOL. I am your host, Plumber Steve, with RJ Graham Plumbing. Joined me is Meghan Ozer, the fabulous Mean Meg today, as she is coming. She came on Monday with a little bit of an edge. And I've got the always beautiful and fabulous Audrey Johnson with Home Source Realty. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be welcome back to the Prepare to Repair show. I am your host, Plumber Steve.
That was better.
Same old place.
Welcome back.
Well, the names have all changed since you hung around.
And Megan's here.
Oh,
We got
I'll
Megan
just
still
start
here.
singing.
We've got Audrey back with us. And we've got John
music.
Sebastian playing.
Who knows the words? Welcome back. I'll start singing.
Do you know what this is from?
Everyone will pick up.
Do you have any idea what this is
Probably
from?
something Cotter. I think you already told me.
Welcome back, Cotter.
Yeah, you told me already.
Too young for that.
Thank you, Audrey.
I like that song. Yeah.
Me too.
There it goes.
I don't know. For some reason, the music was going, and I love that song.
You should have sang.
You want me to sing? You want people to listen,
Yeah,
right?
I know. We want listeners.
I need as many as I can get,
Just
apparently.
talk us through the song. That's good.
So, but before the break, I was talking, or we were discussing the fact, or just giving buyers or advising buyers on the right products rather than giving them products that
We'll make you $1.
make you $1. Exactly. Thanks, Meg. Thanks
I
for.
got you. Listen, I got you today.
I know you do. You
I got it all up top.
And
I know what you're saying.
And there was one of my favorite movies. It was a quote from that. It was name of the movie is Legion. You ever see that movie?
Oh, it's not. It's a Wonderful Life.
No, it's not. Yeah, the holiday's gone.
Lord, it's
okay?
all he talked about.
Did you watch
for
it?
Weeks.
Did you watch it?
Legion with
No.
Will Smith?
Huh?
Oh, no, that's where he got eaten by the zombies and he had to kill his dog. Not that one.
Lee, what?
No, that wasn't Legion. I forget
it's
what it
called
was.
I Am Legion.
I am Legend. There you go. I am Legend.
Yeah, that's a scary movie.
Oh,
Legion is about it's about the apocalypse, and
Okay.
the gentleman he goes, and it's about two angels, and the one angel was protecting humankind, and the other one was sent there by God to basically wipe out and start all over because humans had
Because we're so disappointing.
exactly that's basically was the premise behind the movie,
got it.
and he got his wings back. The guy who protected the humans.
I did see that movie.
Yes.
That
So
was
it's
a good
not.
movie.
It's a Wonderful Life.
No,
Are you
it's
sure?
not.
Because think I know in
George
that movie
Bailey wasn't
somebody
in
gets
this.
Much
their
more
wings.
violent.
Right.
Wow.
So, and he said,
Sounds more up
he
my
goes,
alley.
and he wound up, the one angel wound up killing the one angel that was here to protect the humans.
Sounds aggressive.
And he came back with his wings. And he says, how is that possible? He says, you were here to give him what he wanted. I gave him what he needed.
Okay. I mean, I don't.
Did that
okay.
over the head?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't
Long and
think
short
I have
of
the
it
mental
is-
capacity
is-
to even soak that up.
The
today.
long and short of it is sometimes
Just give me the long and short. Yep.
you God, I do not
Just
like her. She is snarky, man. The thing is sometimes as a professional, or actually it's not sometimes, it's as your job as a professional is to give all the information you can. Make sure people are informed with all aspects of it so they can make an educated decision and so that they're making the right decision on what's right for them. They've seen everything because I believe in the omission of the truth is still a lie. If I don't tell you and give you all this information, you don't know enough to ask those questions. And that's why, I asked you, I was talking to you, Audrey, this gives you an idea of, and how this helps a homeowner. It gives you an idea of who you're dealing with, because who you're dealing with as a person you're buying from, that is somebody you can decide, is this person just going to sell me something or give me something that I don't need, just take my money? Or is this person genuinely going to be here after the check clears to have my back, to be there? I want to have someone to work with again, or warranty what they're going to do or stand by with me.
That's why I think everybody should do something that they love to do, because if you truly loved what you did, you'd have that honesty
You have that
attached
little
to
extra
it.
thing.
Well,
And you know
Yeah,
what?
you're not just going for a paycheck.
You're exactly right. But I think, too, is your point, Steve, too, is what I also like to try and do, and I know you do this, too, from me dealing with you. A lot of people either are shy or nervous or scared, and I try to get the
Right.
person to empower themselves to not to be afraid to say, ask me a question or say, you know what, I really hate this house, or, you know,
Right.
what were you thinking here? You're not going to hurt my feelings.
Right.
Feel free to ask questions, make a statement, and that's in anything. When you're dishing out your hard-earned money and time
Yeah.
to have something fixed or buy something, no matter what it is, I don't care if it's, you didn't like your drink at the restaurant, you should always say in a nice way, you know what, it's not what I wanted, or I want to go a different route.
Exactly.
Because it's all about, you should never, if somebody makes you feel embarrassed or afraid that you would express your opinion, then you're with the wrong person.
Exactly. Always understand you as the consumer, the one spending the money. You're always in charge. Your dollar is the most vocal thing. It's your loudest voice. It is the most powerful weapon you have anywhere.
I feel like I'm louder than $1, Steve. That's just
Up there with the price
my
of gold.
thought.
Leave it alone, Steve. Do not say anything. You're going to get yourself in trouble. Leave it alone. Do not say anything. Audrey, I'm going to leave that one alone. Leave Meg off. I'm not chasing her down
My
that rabbit
dollars
hole. She's
don't
by
have
herself.
voices.
Anyway.
They just don't.
I would say. So, what do you give us a little brief rundown before we close out the show of the real estate market?
Oh, it has been ever changing in the last 2 years, and the last 3 to 6 months has been another wild ride. For anybody who's out there looking, it went from being 3%. We rode it all up to about 7 3/4. Interest rates have come down to about 6.5% right now.
Where are we at now?
About 6.5%. Yeah. So
Okay,
and you know what? Historical norm is 8%. 3% is gone. Not going to happen.
That'll
That
never
was
come
free
back.
money.
That was fun.
Yeah. Well, I always, that's just there. But I have to tell you that inventory is so short. There are no homes for sale.
No, yeah, I've noticed
unless
that.
they're so awful that they've been for
There's
sale.
one in my neighborhood for sale for like a ridiculous amount of money. Ridiculous.
And people don't get it. They think somebody's going to come along. Now, when there was a huge shortage, a lot of people got more for their house than maybe they would have. But I would say I looked for my latest client in 8 suburbs all around Mokina, Orland, in a price range between $250 and $350, with the only criteria being a 2-car garage. There was 16 houses for sale.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh. And everybody's saying, oh, sell now, sell now. You're going to get a great price. I'm like, yeah, but you're going to have to turn around and buy now if you're going to sell now. And
Exactly.
that's
That's the
just,
problem. And if you've got a 3.5% mortgage, that's part of the problem. That was the unintended consequences of raising the interest rate. Is people who have a 3.5% mortgage go, well, maybe I won't downsize this year, or maybe I won't trade up.
Right.
Maybe I'll just keep what I have and see what happens. So, I mean, literally, there are multiple offers in houses. Actually, in the last 30 days, it ticked up across our whole board region, our MLS Eastern Illinois region. So prices are up. Inventory, more people are starting to list. It's that time of year. You know what the start of real estate season is, don't you?
something like March, April.
No, it is. It's after Super Bowl.
Really?
So the guys will get off the couch to go look at a house.
There you go. Okay, that makes
There
sense.
you go.
Should be something up, but it is a good time price-wise to sell. If you have some place to go, or you
Right.
start looking
Yeah.
now.
Sell and live in a van down
so
by the
you
river.
can still get good money, and but if you're out looking, I would say start looking early.
Now, I've got a quick question for you before you give us your information, how people would reach you.
Okay.
Where do you see the market headed, up or down? Because there's a lot of doom and gloom.
Stock market or the housing market?
Just everything. Do you see everything
Everything?
getting as bad?
I think no. I think our housing market will have at least a good spring. Stock market, I think, is going to be pretty. You're going to have some volatile swings in this market before the things settle down. But I still think we're in a recession, and I think it's going to get probably the same or a little worse before the recession itself gets better.
Okay.
And again, there's people who profit and people who don't in a market like this.
Okay, well, I'm glad to see you. Glad you're back here, and you're
Thanks.
always welcome. And you will be on here several more times as we start the new year. We're actually starting our. We're actually going to be going into or finishing up our second year. It'll be our 2-year anniversary in February.
Congratulations, and I think you'll do such a great job. It's a fun show.
Appreciate it.
You really do, Steve.
Thank you. How do people get a hold of you, Audrey?
Do you know what? You can call or text me at 708-846-6494 or shoot me an email at audreyjohnson@realtor.com.
Are you on the socials, Audrey?
You know what? I'm sick of social media.
Really?
Yes, I'm tired of it.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
No. Call me, text me, do it the old-fashioned way. Send me an
I
email.
like it.
well, I had to have you on, and I wanted people to get an insight of who they're dealing with when they deal with, like, say, myself or Audrey, and they already know who Meghan is. So I want to thank
Old
you.
news.
I want to thank you for being on the show. Thank Meghan for always joining me and being a witty counterpart.
A ray of sunshine.
Exactly.
Wow, I like it.
And I want to thank everybody for listening.